Welcome back, everybody, to yet another BLAPCAST. We're not done yet. I know, it's crazy. We didn't forget about this, like, just make a one-off episode in 2019 and then never return. Today, I'm joined by three wonderful gentlemen. At least that's what I assume their pronouns are. I'm gonna go from the top. First of all, we have the elusive Peterscraps.
Hello, I'm a ghost.
Yeah, I guess he is. Then we've got a special guest that isn't actually part of this organization for the most part, but he's friends with all of us. It's a good old SolarLight.
I'm main Demonite.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's all he's known for.
That's all I do.
Teemo's also here. Hi, Teemo.
Hi, I don't exist anymore.
He doesn't exist. He's been erased from the internet.
Yeah, he plays Dota like every once in a while, and that's about it.
Yeah, people already forget about me. I just go to forums and there's like one person that mentioned me like 2 months ago.
I mean, that's because Pyro is just.
Oh, well, you guy that did that thing that I can't remember.
You played Pyro for a bit, didn't you? There's only one other person that plays Pyro, but we don't talk about him.
Didn't you get that? Didn't you get that sick play, and then someone else took like the match recording of it and put it on YouTube?
Yeah, in Dota I held so many world's first events with like cool people, and then someone is like, I'm gonna just steal this replay and make a video without asking you and get like 2 million views.
Nice.
Kill me.
So that's what it feels like to have your
It was
content
like
stolen.
multiple channels too.
Well, like literally every fucking channel keeps stealing my stuff, and I'm like, oh hey, I have 5 viewers, and then this guy that stole my content has 2 million.
At least nowadays, half the compilation channels source, you know, where they get their clips from, and that's great.
Yeah,
but the rest of them are just lazy leeches.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what it's like. It's the life, dude. Like, either you make original content and get 0 views, or you just leech off of other people.
I got like 10 channels struck down.
Jeez, dude. That's dedication.
I just regularly search them and then just report them. It's kind of became my hobby. I'm like, which channel I'm gonna fuck over this night? Haha!
I still remember there was one
Hide your
TF2 channel which like stole a whole bunch of clips from like the Winglet and so on. Like they re-uploaded 3 of my videos as well, and I just I copyright strike them.
What?
They just went down like immediately. It was great.
What is that? Doesn't even make sense. You get stuff from Minglet and then you just
No, they uploaded
like,
stuff from me as well. Like they stole my content.
Like
as
it
well.
just stole your MLG content. I'm like what?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, just re-upload all kinds of
fuck?
stuff. People go to insane lengths just to like squeeze out some sort of ad revenue or something. I think this was at the time when like ad revenue wasn't limited for channels below like 1,000 subs or something.
Yeah,
as well,
I think that was
like
when that was.
Like even if they just got like 10 views,
like
they technically squeeze out. Yeah, like, you could have a bot that just pulls all the videos and re-uploads them.
Oh yeah, have we mentioned already that Teemo got yoked off of Twitter?
Oh yeah, that's a great bit. How about you go into more in depth on that one?
Okay, so my original tweet was, guys, the solution to knife crime is to ban all knives. Hammers, you're next. Then the pneumatic drills. Tools are bad. And then there was another reply. Texting causes a lot of avoidable deaths. Let's ban all phones while we're at it. And I said, the bug is inside a 2-ton death box going Mach 0.1 on the motorway. The same kind used in several attacks. Ban those too. And Teemo, your reply to me was, I will kill you with a fork!
And then, like, 1 hour later, I'm like...
permanently for
that. 1 hour later, I'm just checking
fork.
Twitter, and I'm like, is this seriously the last tweet that's been made? Just my reply. And I constantly try refreshing, and then there's just one notification that just won't go away, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then I just go to my, like, Hotmail, and it's like, you've been banned.
You're in the Shadow Realm now, bitch.
For saying fork!
And there's no way back, and it's permanent.
Yep, Twitter's ridiculous when it comes to stuff like that. For some reason,
also,
like they just take threats very seriously, even if they're jokingly.
Can we like just like post a
without
picture
context
of a fork
as well?
Blapature
it must have been automated because every bit of
that
original post.
Yeah, I was instantly banned, so I think it was automated.
There's
no way.
Every tweet in that process was satirical. It was like dripping with irony.
Yeah, like there was no way an actual human was involved there. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Just like that time when I uploaded a stream announcement video.
Lol.
Yo, your fucking channel.
It's been almost a year since then. I wonder if I wonder if just talking about it on the podcast is gonna have some repercussions. Well, we're gonna see, I guess.
Surny's channel down. Electric Boogaloo.
We're going in for round 2, baby.
YouTube announces Surny's channel terminated too.
Article 13 now forbids you to make stream announcement videos.
It forbids you to make anything for that matter.
Dude, we had like a great Article 13 moment last night
I'm
because
just
like
gonna become a vlog channel if that
like
happens.
I was streaming last night. I was playing video games with my friends, right? And we were chilling in Discord call, and Discord just kept dying. And turns out all I had to do to fix it was to change the voice region to NA. So apparently, Article 13 is already in full blast. It seems like everything's going to shit. But that's
Well, I'm
great.
technically not in Europe, so I don't have to care about it.
Yeah, but you join EU servers, so you know.
I don't know. I can just play on EU East.
The EU
Not
probably
worry
has
about
its
it.
fingers up your ass somehow.
Yeah, they'll probably.
I'm just gonna
will.
be gone in like 2 years, anyways. I'm gonna be at NA somewhere like Canada.
Canada
I'm going,
seems like
I'm
the
going
only
to Canada this year. That's gonna be nice.
reasonable
Yeah.
place.
Smoke weed every.
What are you
Just
gonna
need
do
to
there?
finish my uni.
What are you gonna do in Canada, Solar?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Just travel?
Yeah,
Just
pretty
enjoy
much.
the scenery? That seems good.
Trimps off the snow.
Builds like a tiny little ramp and just starts running off of it.
We
Snow trimping.
Speaking of trimping, God, I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain recently. Like,
Oh,
I thought you were
yeah.
gonna go somewhere else
Dude,
completely.
stock
goddamn.
character. You can actually trimp with stock
Yeah.
character in Risk of Rain 2.
like I've seen that, like a little bit of it. Like
I've just been doing it.
it doesn't
accidentally
look
enough
like
when,
TF2 tripping. It just looks like climbing mostly.
Yeah, like no, you just get a shit ton
no,
of speed,
no,
and
yeah,
then
but you can actually use it
bump
on rocks
into
as well.
you bump into like a slope, and you just go flying. It's insane. But that game is so fun, and I don't know why, because it's actually very simple, and it has like half of the content that it's supposed to have because it's an early access, and it's already insanely fun.
I know I'm gonna get
Yeah.
fucking addicted if I touch the game, so I'm not gonna do it now.
Good choice, actually. You know, it's extremely fun. Like, obviously the co-op is
Oh,
a big.
hang on, my chicken
big
dandies are
factor
done.
for it.
What the
Go
fuck?
get your go get your chicken tenders. It's fine. Yeah, it's just like the co-op is obviously the big fact about it, but it's such a good game. I don't know what it is. Like, obviously it's a roguelike, so I like it, but it's something about it tickles me very much because we don't get a lot of good 3D roguelikes, right? Most roguelikes that are good are 2D. Like
Binding of Isaac,
Gungeon, Isaac, Dead Cells, all those games are all 2D. And like, there's rarely is there any 3D roguelikes, let alone actually good ones. Like, one that I can think of at the top of my head is Immortal Redneck, I believe that's what it was called. I never played that one, but that's a 3D one, as far as I remember. But like, you know, we don't get a lot of those, so it's something novel that makes it so unique, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I know what game you're talking about. That was pretty good. I watched the
Yeah.
entire thing. No, it's not that. There was Destroy the Mothership or something like that.
That's also one, yeah, I remember that one.
That one was
Right.
pretty good.
There are a few. Speaking of video games as well, any other games you guys been playing recently?
I've been playing a ton of Splatoon lately. That's been really fun.
Oh, you have a Switch. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I have. Like I've been trying to
Every
rank
day.
up so much. Like it's actually really fun.
Every day I'm just the one guy that doesn't have a Switch while everybody else around him plays those fun games like Smash.
Haha!
Yeah.
A Switch is $2,000 in my currency. Kill me.
I mean,
Damn.
that's bad,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, everything is expensive. Please send food. Playing Dota and Apex. That's like my two go-to games lately.
Yeah, I played Apex like for the first time in a week yesterday. It's fun.
I've
still a fun
barely
game.
played it, to be honest. Like I
They're not
should
quite
probably
done
give
yet.
it another try.
I'm gonna kidnap him as soon as we're done here and force him to play a few hours with me.
Skew what?
Play Apex.
Yep.
It's a good game.
Apex. I still haven't played that yet.
It's fun.
You should
Like you
check
can
it out.
just
It's
mess around
pretty
for like
fun.
half an hour and play like 5 to 6 games and be done with it. There's
yeah,
no-
It's like
Like you're not forced to play it all the time either. Like if something comes up in the middle there, you can just leave, which is great for me because I just need to be like, oh hey, a sudden emergency patient arrived. He's fucking dying. Leave the game.
yeah.
And that doesn't work in
It's
Dota
not-
because
it's
you
not
get
just
Yeah, or
banned.
if your internet goes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it doesn't go out, that's your problem.
But also, it's like it's basically the TF2 of battle royales because it's the most movement-based battle royale we've ever got.
Oh, they also
right?
have like people memeing as well. Like you know how we have friendlies in TF2, we have that type of people there.
Yeah.
They just run around with ammo bags and then just trade with other players and then just go somewhere else.
That's great.
They call them the
I haven't seen that
shopkeepers.
yet. But I like that. Yeah, that sounds like
I love that
a
type
great
of
idea.
behavior.
I love when people just like morph a game out of its original gameplay into something completely unique, while still just using
have you heard of the
like
Easter
ordinary
egg
game mechanics.
that you can do in Apex?
I think I know what you're talking about, like where you can get the big old dinosaurs to spawn.
That's a
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like trying to get that to happen is a completely new game. You need a complete game plan of 3 people working together to get that to happen.
I saw like a clip of somebody managing to do it, and like they were just standing outside of the ring for probably a solid 10 minutes just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, basically what you gotta do is there are 11 statues across the entire map. You need to shoot every single one of them with your team, and then you need to go to the zone where he spawns, and then do
Which is near the swamp, I believe.
Yeah, basically, you need perfect teamwork, and also people need to not fucking die while trying to break the stuff, because you are alone, and at the same time you're gonna be inside the area where you take damage, so have fun.
That's pretty cool. I did actually see the notification of it spawning once while it was in a game playing.
I was in
like
the game
a few
with
months
you.
ago. Yeah, I think that was actually, it might have been the game we were in. Yeah,
I was
like I did see the notification once that somebody actually did it, which was pretty cool.
I've seen it twice so far.
That's elaborate, but I like stuff like that. It's really cool. I think games have strayed away from doing stuff like that for the most part, unfortunately, because it's actually really cool. Like, it's a little Easter egg. It has absolutely no point of being in the game, but it keeps you invested.
Dude,
when you
every
find out
new
about
character
stuff like
they
that.
added is a complete Easter egg and a nod to the community. It just feels so much TF2-ish, not only because of its gameplay, but also because of how devs approach the game. They just want to add stuff to
Not to mention it's on the Source engine.
But, everything is running on Source engine at this point, I swear.
Not really, but, you know...
It's like a heavily
the Source
modified
engine.
Source engine.
That or Unity.
Like, the Source engine does slip through sometimes, like, when, for instance, when the Twitch Prime skin came out, and you could just get the Twitch Prime reward by putting something into your launch options in the game, which is just like a console command.
Oh, yeah.
And you would just get the
Yeah.
Twitch Prime rewards. And then the same thing happened with Origin Access, which means you get, like, 1,000 Apex coins for free, and you could just buy the Battle Pass for free. That was great as well.
Did you actually have to launch the game to get it?
Yeah.
You did have to launch the game with the launch option active, but then you could remove it again, and you would still keep them.
Yeah, I'm like, they're not going to remove it
I don't think I
anyways.
opened it whilst that was still a thing. Or is it still a thing?
It's no longer a thing. They fixed it pretty
Ah!
quickly.
Aha, I still have my coins.
But you know, a few people basically managed to scam EA out of like
Good.
1,000 Apex coins.
fuck
They've been doing
So-
that to us for years.
Pretty good. And I mean, if you level up your battle pass enough, like if you got it, you can actually get the money back, which means you can, for the next season, assuming the battle pass costs as much again, you can just get free battle passes.
Yeah, and the
the
best
entire
part
game's
is you don't even need to
existence.
buy the battle pass to level it up. So if you leveled up all the way, you can just
Exactly,
buy
and
it
then you can
last
buy
day and for free.
And you
Like,
still get all the
yay.
loot. Yeah. It's great. It's good stuff.
It's free shit.
It's a good game. Good game. Speaking of more good games, I'm just doing transition after transition. We're just blasting through everything today. Any games you're looking forward to coming out in the near future or something like that?
Doom Eternal?
Oh yeah,
That's a pretty
that's
good
gonna
one.
be a good.
That's a
good pick.
That's a pretty good one.
I'm hyped for the new
And
And at least
next
it's gonna
Elder
be
Scrolls
on
game.
Steam. At
Where's
least
the
it's
shade
gonna be
there?
on Steam.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, Epic Games hates gamers, right? They hate gamers.
Mm-hmm.
They just hate the PC master race. They want to
Yep.
destroy everything that we care about.
Have you guys
Yeah.
seen
Separate
how it's
launcher.
actually a
Same thing with
malware?
Apex Legends. Like, I need 3 separate launchers to play different games out.
Like,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
that's the thing,
Like
right?
you've got
So-
you got Steam Battle.net Epic Games launcher. Like
I
there
swear
was
to
also
God,
the
one day
Bethesda
there's going to be a
launcher as well
platform.
at one point.
Yeah, there's gonna be a launcher for the launchers. It's just
Exactly.
gonna
I've
like archive all of them.
seen
Yeah,
And
everyone's gonna
Discord
make
has
their
a game
launchers.
launcher now. Like, god damn.
Yeah.
I've,
Oh, yeah,
I've seen
even
this one
Discord.
tweet where it shows that Epic Game Store is actually a spyware. Have you guys
Oh,
seen
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that.
about that. So that has apparently been debunked. Somebody on FacePunch made a thread debunking the original Reddit post that accused the software of being spyware.
I think it's
and
something to do
in-
with anti-cheat.
Yeah, like anti-cheat and like the API for Steam for pulling the Steam for instance and stuff like that. There's a lot of different ways that they do stuff, but basically, like the dude that made the original Reddit post, he even said it himself. He's an amateur. He has no idea what half of these things mean, and then someone that's actually like more versed in it did an actual analysis and debunked the original post and basically said, this is not anything that spyware does. Any other software that you use, like Steam or Battle.net or Origin, does the exact same things, or many other softwares, even Discord, do the exact same things. So this is nothing to be worried
I
about.
mean, let's be fair. Discord already collects all your info.
That's the next thing. But like, at the start of it, like, I'm still skeptical about the Epic launcher regardless, and I still don't quite trust Epic Games. Like, the fact that the spyware thing was debunked obviously makes me restore a lot of trust in them. Because, yeah, it's a little scary if you want to use the software, but then it gets accused of being spyware, even though the claims might be very baseless. It's still scary, especially if it gets perpetuated that much, right? And you don't really trust the software anymore. So I can see why many people are upset about that. But it being debunked obviously helps a little bit with it. What I don't agree with is the people that are upset and outright refuse to use the Epic launcher and boycott it because it lacks functionality. Like, come on, yeah, I get it, Steam is better. But like, whenever somebody links this list of like, oh, these are the features that Steam has and that Epic doesn't, who gives a shit? Like, 90% of those things you don't need. You just want to play a game. Who cares about Steam groups? Who cares about screenshots and achievements? Like, yeah, some of the features, like, I don't know, offline mode, cloud saves, yeah, those are important.
There are a lot of people that are achievement whores. You underestimate the community.
But like,
yeah, like I've seen these posts where it's like, oh, Borderlands 3 comes out in April 2020, and it's just like, okay, sure.
It's delayed.
Yeah.
Basically, effectively, what they announced is that they delayed Borderlands 3 by another 6 months. But that's fine. Like, if you're refusing to use the Epic Games Launcher, though, just because it lacks some functionality, which they're working on, by the way, and like within the short term, they're gonna have most of the important features in it. Does that excuse that they shipped unfinished software? Probably not. Like, most of these features should have been in from the start, but whatever.
Yeah, but like, aren't those people the ones that are defending Steam? The company notorious for literally shipping everything half-baked?
Exactly. Like,
attendees acquired.
What?
Like, the argument that people always bring up is, oh, Steam didn't have these things to begin with. Yeah, but Steam also had 15 years to develop them, yada yada. But even then, you'd think that most of the features now, they're considered standards for the industry, right? For the games launchers.
Yeah, technology moves forward. For the
Epic Games Launcher to ship without an offline mode, without cloud saving, without like regional pricing and stuff like that, that's a bit like risky on their side. And like, then like they don't have these pretty crucial features, and they try to force people to use it because we spend a couple $1 million on getting this game on the launcher exclusively for the first year. That's
like
iffy.
A YouTube competitor starting up, not having any of the features YouTube does, and then shutting down after 2 years. Oh wait, no, that was VidMe.
Yep.
Oh man.
VidMe was promising, but
it was promising. It wasn't bad either. They knew how to meme as well. I don't know. There was something nice about them.
They were promising, but they just didn't have a business model that was profitable. I mean, YouTube
it wasn't
working. My issue with Epic Games Launcher and everything is just the fact that it all looks so shady, and at the same time, they just try and sound so self-righteous. There has to be something.
Yeah.
Like there has to be something underlying there.
Like they're definitely taking the heel role. Like they're being the heel of the games launchers. Like they're being the evil guys. Absolutely, that's the role that they've shoved themselves into. But like if they sort out the functionality issues and like the spyware thing is debunked, the only major gripe I still have with it is the apparent security issues.
I don't know, man. It just feels like he's just gonna take me out on this amazing date on top of a hill, and when I'm just looking down, he's just gonna kick me down. That's just how I feel like Epic Games Launcher is.
I still have some inherent mistrust. But yeah, like I guess time will tell. Like I'm always willing to change my mind because I've had people telling me left, right, and center like, why are you so against the Epic Games Launcher? Imagine caring so much about having to install another launcher. Like that's not my issue. My issue isn't that I have to install another piece of software and open it if I want to play a game. I already do that for Apex because I have to play with Origin. Every Ubisoft game you play, you have to install Uplay for anyway. If I want to play Overwatch, I have to install Battle.net. Like I'm already used to using different launchers. I don't mind that. What I mind is the fact that this launcher in particular is no stranger to controversy, and it's a little iffy in terms of its functionality and stuff. And if it wants to rival Steam, it definitely has to develop.
And also, people don't understand that you can change your opinions. That is normal over the time and things develop. It's normal to change your opinions. That's one of the biggest things when I'm dealing with science stuff. That's one of the biggest things. Things develop, things change. You can change your opinions.
Wow,
based
you
on
were
how the
different
feature happens.
in the past. I could have. Wow, you're
so stupid.
You have different opinions now because you've heard from a wider range of sources. My God!
Whoa!
Or the situation has changed and you've changed your opinion. What? No way.
I had this one guy that came up to me and he was like, "You pissed me off at this tweet you made 5 years ago," and I'm like, "Okay."
Oh. Dude, 2012 Twitter was the Wild West. You cannot use anything against you from that long ago.
And then people just go and find like my Hypixel profile from 2012. That was 7 years ago. Come on, just let it go.
Grow up. Just grow up.
Yeah, I had a Minecraft profile picture. So what? I was a fucking teen.
Like anything from 5 years ago, and you're gonna be completely different.
Yeah, especially like if you're like our age, right? We're like all young adults. Like 5 years ago, we were all teenagers. When you're a teenager, you do stupid shit. That's just how it works.
5 years ago, I was a brony.
I don't like this. Like, I don't like this culture either of like, you know, people digging up your past and trying to hold it against you in some way like that. That's like, yeah, if they're an adult and like if they're a fully grown adult and the thing you're digging up from the past, they were also an adult.
Basically, don't be an annoying journalist.
Why did people think I'd shut down my Facebook completely? Because like people that I knew would constantly go there and dig shit up just to throw something on me. Because
don't be Vox.
Like I'm in the university, I'm trying my best to get to academics, and like I'm that one student that's like, oh hey, I'm handling all these grades, and at the same time I have 3 research projects, and I'm also helping the teacher do something at the same time. They get a little bit jealous sometimes and try to, you know, ruin your life. Academics isn't exactly.
It's like, oh, what is this? I found a tweet from 5 years ago where you said the N-word. Well, I guess you're getting fired and your entire career is ruined. See you later, buddy.
Look,
your life is over.
Here's the thing. There's a first time for everything. And I didn't know about the N-word until I was about 14 because I was so damn sheltered in the North. Mm-hmm. So thankfully, I had understanding friends who corrected me, and I edited the original post so that it wouldn't contain the word. But, you know, there's always a first time for everything, and, you know, some people just don't delete their posts, so...
N-word is a common in my country.
Interesting.
Well, the N-word is illegal in Britain, I think, as well.
What the fuck?
Well, define illegal, you know? Like, it's not like you're gonna go to jail.
I think only as an insult, though. I don't know.
Like, yeah. Like, that's the next thing when it comes to stuff like that, is always the context highly matters, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're using it as an insult or a slur, obviously. Like, if you're using it as an insult or a slur, like, yeah, you're an asshole. You're a bad person.
But if you're just paraphrasing, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Like Linux, she was just paraphrasing. However, I'm 6% black is not the right excuse.
Yeah. I mean, Teemo's a victim of the context thing. His Twitter got suspended for it. So.
Yeah. Can we just post a picture of a fork on Blapature's Twitter?
Part.
We could.
And the fact that we follow each other, it's just...
Ignore that. Who cares?
Forks are gonna be forever a fucking meme about me at this point, just because of this. There was one meme with like prequel memes where it was like, he's too dangerous to be left alive, and there's just a bunch of forks next to me. I'm on the ground. So well made.
But like, that's the thing with like filters and stuff, right? Because normally companies like Discord or Twitter or whatever, they try to avoid people using these slurs or whatever, right? So they'll like maybe even implement filters and be like, just put a blanket filter on it. If anybody says it, they're gone. But then again, you know, the problem is you can't teach a filter to filter for context. There are very valid contexts where you might be able to say a word like that without it being offensive. But
and the potentially offensive content is always hidden behind an extra button at the bottom of the comments section. So quite often people's replies are sort of...
Like, I absolutely agree with wanting to remove stuff like that.
They are just straight up hidden.
Yeah.
That is true.
Usually it's those opinions that are the most spicy.
They are. Sometimes they're just utter shite, but sometimes they're actually reasonable. Like, I agree with wanting to remove stuff like that, because it does create a toxic atmosphere, and, you know, obviously the world would be better off if nobody said the fucking N-word, naturally, right?
Yeah.
But there's always going to be edgelords that are going to go out of their way to use offensive words to offend people. You can't change that. But I don't know. Like, I don't like the idea of just a blank filter on something. Right? I don't like the idea of
the more
offensive power, though.
The more offensive something is, the more power you give to the word. Like,
that's also true. Yeah. Like if you
and thus
I've always had
the
this
word
idea.
Gets spicier to say.
If you take this word and you put it up on this high pedestal and you have blinking neon signs pointing at it saying, "Do not say this word," Obviously, there's
People
gonna be
will
someone
say that word, yeah.
that's gonna be contrarian.
This
It's
is,
like, oh, I'm gonna say this.
this is exactly what happened in the Dota 2 community. Like, just a few months back, and a person got banned for it. They're not able to compete anymore. Their career is fucking over.
Oh my god.
They said a Chinese insult, apparently, the C word. I'm not gonna say it lolling, because I get fucking demolished in Dota community as well. I can't even trust it anymore. It's not even something racist, it's a C word. I can just... I'll just type it.
Wait, so it's not the K word, which is the Jewish one?
No, they got upset to this.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah, okay.
fair enough.
Oh, right. We use that word in North Yorkshire to indicate Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, okay. So, one person...
So we say, if we want Chinese,
okay.
we say we want...
Okay, let me say the
whatever.
story. One person in a pub game, a professional player, just a random pub game, not even like a professional tournament, said the C word, and then the Chinese people just started outraging for days until Valve fucking banned him from everywhere. He can't attend to 3 of the tournaments that happened, and TI9 is happening in China, so he's probably not going to be able to attend there as well. The man himself got banned from China completely for saying the C word.
Wow.
Once
Damn.
in a fucking pub
Wow.
game. He's banned by the government officials. It's like...
That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's...
His
Over
career
the
is
top.
fucking over saying that in a pub, and he apologized multiple times.
You don't
He's-
piss off the Chinese government.
Yeah, but
Apparently you
people
don't
hate
wanna.
Valve for not siding with us whatsoever, and just siding with the Chinese because they are the money banks. Like, they spend
They
so
are.
much in Dota.
They are, like, all these markets are now investing into China because it's a huge market. There's a billion people in that market that just haven't really been in the wider internet culture for, like, decades, right? So obviously you want to get into that market now that they're expanding. So it's very natural that Valve and many other companies are trying to be on the good side of the
China
Chinese
is
government.
Hugely fucking
There is a
corrupt.
difference between being on the good side of a government and just bending over for the government, though.
Oh wait, I'm a
I
communist.
guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
China is great. There's nothing wrong with it.
Communism is wonderful. It works on a great scale without any problems whatsoever.
When you
Okay, it's
have
getting too
only
political.
one party, decisions get made quicker.
It's getting too political.
Doesn't matter what the decisions are
The
necessarily.
only way
People
we're allowed to
start
talk about
massacring.
politics on this show is by making fun of politics, okay? Everybody in the political spectrum gets made fun of equally. That's the only way we're talking about politics. All right, let's cut that off right
so
there.
this is communistic there, okay. Have you guys seen Home Together of Chinese hackers? There are a lot of
Chinese
us.
hackers.
Chinese cheaters.
Yeah,
In
if they're
video
yeah, in
games?
video games. If they're
Or
cheating,
North
you just
Korean online heist.
no, like if they're cheating, you just type down some of the banned words for them in all
Yeah,
chat.
it's
and then they just get
it's
kicked.
actually
Oh,
it's a
Tiananmen
copy
Square.
pasta.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a copy pasta considered as the bug spray. It's wonderful.
Yeah, like
People have dubbed it the bug spray.
oh, yeah, we were
It's-
talking about some Chinese stuff in a Dota subreddit area, and then someone just copy paste that just in case people come in.
Democracy, Tiananmen Square, genocide.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
They should just put Winnie the Pooh in Apex so it gets banned.
Oh, but have you
Yeah,
noticed
so that's
how
stuff.
many game companies are bending down to sort of Chinese lore and removing skulls from things? That happened
Oh
in
yeah, that
CS:GO
that
Oh, yeah.
happens in
and,
Dota as well.
Rainbow Six Siege.
We have
and
a
it even happened to TF2 in 2007 in Germany.
what the fuck?
That silly
Yeah,
game.
like-
Yeah.
the game, like in the early 2000s, like up until probably like the last 3 or 4 years ago, like Germany was very strict when it came to violence in video games. So they just like, you can release the game, but you need to censor it. And the way they censored TF2 was with just having silly gibbs on it all the
Oh,
time,
God,
and
don't
having
remind
like
me.
no blood.
Okay,
Blood
so
turn off.
you're not allowed to have any blood and skulls in Dota because of the Chinese community.
I
And
think-
all the cosmetics they add are not allowed to have any human skulls or blood. And we have an entire character named Bloodseeker, all about collecting blood of his victims and rupturing their veins. And they modified it so everything looks like oil now. He just ruptures someone's veins and just oil starts spilling out.
Mm.
I don't know. You just infected them with some disease or something. You can make up your lore.
You just turn
Who
them
cares
into,
about the
you
lore,
just
dude?
turn them into
Who
America's
cares
Dream.
about the lore of video games, dude? Just play the game, bro. Who cares, Lamau?
There are plenty of people that will beat the shit out of you over Dota 2 lore. I'm just saying.
I know people get worked up about lore sometimes. It's fine. Like if you're invested in the lore of a game, that's cool.
There was an entire argument about how Storm Spirit was gay, and people got really heated over that argument. It was stupid.
Boy.
You know how people got heated over Gibraltar being gay in Apex Legends, apparently.
Yeah, but this one is not
As
even
a
in the
character.
lore. There's just like one line where he talks about how Zeus looks nice, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he's gay."
Must be.
Obviously.
But it's like I love that people go to the lengths of like debating about fictional characters like this. Like you've got nothing else to worry about. Like you're gonna be debating about a fictional character and how much they fuck. You know, that's what you care about.
Okay, so
You know,
Guys,
you
did
care
you know
about the fact
Soldier
that
76 gay?
you care about the fact that Dumbledore fucks. Okay, that's what I care about when it comes to the Harry Potter lore. Dumbledore
They has an intimate
fucks.
relationship.
dude, I'm just like watching
Intimately
weird-ass
sexual.
shows. I was watching Star Wars: Force of Evil. I got hooked up to that show, and in one scene, one of the male characters dressed up as a princess, and ever since then, entire community argues day and night that that character must be transgender.
Obviously.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Boy.
I mean, people want media representation. Let them have it. Like, I don't mind if people want to argue about that and be like, yeah, you know, it's representative and whatever. They want to interpret that. That's fine. I am not against representation of whatever, like LGBT or minorities or whatever in media. Right? It just needs to be done right.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
not against
sometimes-
it either. It just feels
It
so
can't be
stupid where
ham-fisted.
people argue
Yeah,
day and
sometimes
night
it's
over stuff.
ham-fisted or forced.
Yeah, and
Like,
sometimes you
yeah.
just
like,
turn a character gay to change the drama happening in your game. Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, it made absolute sense because of the wider plot of the story allowing it to make sense.
Exactly. That's a good example of good representation. It
However-
like in some media it works, in some it just they don't know how
However-
to do it, so they shove it in.
Yeah, however, in a story where the multiverse isn't a thing, that kind of would be a bit weird.
You just need to find a way to explain it, or have it just have it make sense, right? Just have it make sense. Don't go like, oh, okay, so this
Follow
is like
the rules of the universe.
I wrote. You know, I'm basically just gonna raff on the J.K. Rowling subject here because we've already mentioned it. I wrote this book 20 years ago, and now I'm gonna retcon everything and make sure, oh yeah, this character's actually gay, this character's actually black, this character's actually transgender, this character, yeah, he doesn't actually exist, he's just a figment of your imagination.
Entire
The reader also gay.
Hogwarts is a fucking orgy at this point.
Yeah, like
It's
like
it's like
I
Batman
get it,
pulling
you
out
wrote
a
the book,
machine
but-
gun and then just mowing everyone down.
Yep.
Yeah, and then shoving the empty machine gun in his ass because
And
apparently
then
he's gay
Hagrid
now.
pulls out a shotgun and blasts him.
yeah, like. Okay, like you're sure, like you're the original author of this. You have the say about the lore, I guess. But like, if this is the case, why didn't you write it in the book? Like, why do you retcon this or add it like 20 years later? I don't know
Because
when the
hindsight
original Harry Potter books
2020
came
doesn't
out.
exist.
She must have read one of those steamy fanfics and then got
What?
an idea.
Really? Don't remind me.
Dude, she's so into the fanfiction community. I bet you, she's a lurker.
Oh, she must be. Maybe, matter of fact, some of the early works probably written by herself under a different alias. She was just like,
Imagine
you know
making
what,
an entire
let's get
show
this started.
and then make
I'll tell you what, many
That-
authors, even people in my family, just change their names outright, sometimes to different genders when they're writing their stories, so their sort of author's name is different from their real name.
That's interesting. Since we're in the Spider-Verse, can we open that one topic of the big movie?
The big movie, the big one, the big Marvel one
Yeah,
coming up.
the big boy one.
I literally.
Oh yeah,
could
the
not give
big
less
one
of a
where
shit.
they want the small guy to go up the purple guy's butthole.
Oh yeah.
No, I'll preface
I
this by
love that
saying
meme so much. It's great.
I haven't actually watched a single Marvel movie since the original Avengers, I think. Like I haven't watched any Marvel movies in the past like 5 or 6 years. that
Oh
have come
boy,
out.
I want to see
I
the
watched
comments
a-
of reaction to this one.
I watched
So
Avengers 1.
I only have
Avengers
like
3, and
like
that's
the synopsis of what happens for the most part. But yeah. Go on.
Oh,
It's
you touched my
it's something
tail.
like with Endgame coming up.
Come on, Peter.
The only thing I see about it is just people talking like, "Oh yeah, you know, Ant-Man's gonna crawl out of Thanos' butthole and just blow him up." Like, really? That's how you want the movie to end? I guess it would be funny.
Wouldn't it just make more sense having go in his ear, because then it's a headshot?
If that actually happens,
Like,
I'm
up
just leaving
there.
it bit.
Yeah. But if we're gonna start debating comic book movies, the one thing I've always had a gripe with comic book movies is obviously the movie is a highly condensed version of the overall lore of the comic book, right? But
I think it's more like
a lot of
reinterpreted.
maybe as
'Cause
well,
a
but
lot
a
of
lot of
things-
stuff just doesn't make sense. Like
I think of a
Like,
lot of it is
why-
just inspired.
like how the thing I don't understand about like Infinity War and stuff especially is like how the fuck are they gonna stop Thanos? Like the dude can literally do anything. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. If he wants to, he can just make himself immortal. Boom, problem solved. He can never die. Like how are they gonna fucking go about stopping him? Oh, Ant-Man's gonna crawl up his butthole. You think Thanos isn't gonna realize that? Come on, dude.
I
If
don't
they
know.
do-
Pretty
Did,
fucking-
did an ant
If
ever
they
crawl
do
your
a
butthole?
Doctor Strange type ending, I'm gonna be a bit annoyed.
I swear to
'Cause
God,
we've-
if it just
we've had
ends
people
with
die.
yeah, I swear to God, if it just ends with oh, everyone is back to life now, yay! I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be
it's
upset.
gonna end that
I'm gonna
way.
be
It's
so-
gonna
Yeah,
end
probably
that way.
will. Yeah, let's be real.
Like, there's gonna be
Uh.
some form of like Deus Ex Machina that's gonna be like, oh, all the people that turned to dust at the end of the last movie, they're back now.
Yeah, and they're gay now.
I bet you there was only originally like 2 movies, and now they made it into 3.
They might squeeze out a third one, but I doubt it. I doubt they would squeeze out a third movie out of it. I think they want to be done with it. They really do.
What do you mean they want to be done with it? They're gonna milk the shit out of it.
Just
Like,
have,
they want to be done with
just
that
have
arc, though.
Thanos
Like,
kill the entire universe and start again.
yeah, just start over. Just have him make a new Big Bang or something. Like, he can do anything. He's got like all
Yeah,
the fucking
exactly.
infinity pebbles.
He can make
do
his own
whatever.
universe. Like, fuck off.
He can make it in his
Fuck
butthole.
off Thanos.
Why?
It's already dense enough. I don't know.
every time he
did see-
farts, there's an earthquake.
I did see a great edit. That somebody made. It's like it's just an animation, but it's extremely well made. Where it's like a clip where they where Ant-Man is about to crawl up Thanos' butthole, but then Thanos realizes it, makes himself small instead, crawls up Ant-Man's butthole, and makes him blow up. It's a great video. It's actually like an amazing video.
I want to
I
watch
saw
that.
this last
I
night
want to
on
watch
Twitter.
that
Hold
so
on.
much.
Let me see if I can find the link again. It's a great video. Like
They're
it's
just
extremely well made.
infinitely smaller.
Memes?
It's in the podcast channel.
I'll watch that
just-
later.
Just watch it. It's actually extremely well made. It's great.
What a fucking show it is.
I actually thought it was real until he just says, "We're done with this meme" at the end of it. It's a great video. But yeah, memes. Memes are just a thing. They're dead now because Article 13 is around, so that's wonderful. Memes are no more. Honestly, I can't complain too much. Well, they would have been no more unless they... Wasn't there like a little addition that they made to the article where they were like, you know what, memes are safe? Didn't they do something like that? Because that's actually kind of sad. Honestly, like the happiest part for me about Article 13 was the fact that memes would be dead, but fair enough, I guess. It still sucks.
If memes die,
Still
I'm gonna
bad.
die as well.
Well, you're a living meme, I guess. Fair enough. Happens.
You are dead in Europe, Teemo.
Oh,
So
the
it goes.
fucking Wilhelm.
Yeah.
You're all watching the video now,
Yeah,
so I
I
just have
am.
to fill the dead air while doing that. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I will transition here a little bit as well, because we're just talking about memes. We do have a notorious, in the past, meme master on the podcast today. What a great transition to talk about
Oh boy.
the Night Comp League run by our very own SolarLight right here.
This was one of your worst.
That went way
transitions.
better than I expected, to be honest.
That's a decent segue, actually, yeah? Okay, yeah, like, what's it like running a league?
It's very interesting. Like, you get to work with a lot of different people, at least. Like, I had to talk with the Match.tf guys a lot as well.
Have you ever
Yeah, I've
had
been-
that moments where people are unable to decide on a match and then argument breaks out and you're like,
Oh
why do I
yeah,
have to be the one
that's
dealing with
always
this?
that's fun. Like it's always really fun when people like decide to complain about servers.
I've been following from the sidelines for the most part, and like all the input I ever get from it is from Logic, because he's one of the support
Logic
admins
is
and stuff.
really good at this. Like he's actually surprisingly good.
Every evening, like when we're in a voice chat together, he's just like, he keeps getting messages, especially on the weekends. He keeps getting messages about people just incapable of setting up servers, even though you're like 6 weeks into the season now.
Yeah, I know.
And people still don't know how to set up servers. That must be a pain.
Yeah.
It absolutely gotta be.
Then you get the occasional team that just doesn't know how to get a server, even though they're like, what? Like, are you telling me they went 5 weeks into the season without ever getting your own server once?
I went 3 years into comp without knowing how to set up a server. Please, don't kill me. I always had the team leader do it. I never bothered to learn it. They would just give it an IP, and I would just go in and kill people.
Hmm.
And also
Fair
die.
enough. Yeah, like it's interesting how like, because it's a meme league, right? It's like many other ones, like the medieval one.
I mean, let's be fair. It's so
it's
big.
a wacky league.
It's so
wacky
big that
league,
it doesn't
and, like,
count.
It is a bit of a wacky league, yeah.
Yeah,
but...
it's like a wacky idea, like, oh, you know, we're gonna take the original Sixes meta and we're just gonna turn it on its head and everybody's a Demo Knight instead.
Yep.
Cool. But the fact that it actually had like, well, how many?
It had like 140 teams, like
that's
total
insane.
registered. Yeah, like because
that's a lot of
I
teams.
contacted Eric Smith and he gladly accepted the blog post I submitted him.
Wow.
Guys.
And that like our Discord membership like more than went up by like 10 times just from that.
Jeez.
It's like ridiculous.
Jeez.
That is amazing. It also shows you that people don't want to just play the same stale Sixes meta anymore.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like,
I do
people want
believe that
people
like
want
the...
to play Demo Knight in Sixes.
Yeah,
or whatever.
what, like-
Yeah, they like the novelty of like switching it up every once in
Yeah,
a
like
while.
the thing is, while I was playing a lot in the Dota and just checking out the competitive community and why the game was alive for so long, what happens is every single time they do a really big patch that just turns the game upside down, changes the meta completely, and then you get to do different things. That's one of the things we need in this community. If you ever want to go there, if you don't want to just play
Yeah.
the same stale Sixth meta, let's have a patch where Pyro is viable, and then the next patch the Engineer is viable, and Pyro is trash again.
That could spice it up.
And
certainly.
people
I mean,
would be able to play the previous meta if they were so good at that class and still make it work, and then we will see this clash of metas and different play styles, which will make the game more fun than, oh, let's watch Mua fail to jump, and then vault to mid, haha, 10-year-old meme.
Or it would, you know, maybe make the scene more appealing to the casual viewer, because there's not much of a disconnect. But...
And I've got to go now.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna just cut
Bye,
Peter
guys.
off a little bit early. That's fine.
Kill him.
See ya, dude. All right, we're gonna cut him off early. That's fine. We can keep going for a few more minutes. That's okay. Yeah, like the argument on both sides of the competitive community is always like, yeah, but you know, if Valve hasn't helped us for the past 10 years, why would they start listening now? Like over the past 10 years, we've developed a way that is very fun to play. Like,
Yeah, like a lot
without,
of people
without question.
keep
Yeah,
the same
like-
meta because they think it's fun.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
have
like,
I have a
there's good
complete
argument for that, but-
list that disproves that completely. Like I've done a lot of research during Teemo Lander on how people reacted and how people had their experiences and stuff. Everyone is fucking scared. Nobody wants to go in and play a meta that's so many years old, and there are so many people that master that meta and get their asses handed to them, even in the smallest levels. If the meta shifted a lot more, people will have an easier time adjusting.
Like, yeah, I understand that as somebody that has been playing for years and has like played in this established meta. Obviously, yeah, it might be the most fun way to play. Like you're used to playing this way. It's the most consistently fun way. You don't have to have any X factors thrown in of people being wacky and running heavy to mid or something like that. Sure. Arguably and objectively, it might be the most fun way to play at a high level. But it's certainly not the most fun to watch. It's way more fun to watch when people switch up their compositions.
Yeah, definitely.
And-
You always get the fun novelty of seeing
Yeah,
someone run
exactly.
your favorite
Remember
class or
when,
whatever.
remember when there was a Pro Laner team? What
Yeah.
what were they called? They were called Pro Laner, right?
No Panther,
was it-
low
Panther,
no Panther. Yeah, I
Like,
love watching that team.
I watched
Like,
every single one of their games at Insomnia, but other teams not so much because it gets fucking boring after a while. I'm sorry.
Especially with the current state of TF2, what I've seen people complain about as well is just like, because it's been so long since there was any changes, naturally. But like the game's just dominated by scouts now. Like, if you have
Yeah.
good scouts, you win. Like, your soldiers don't matter, your demo doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just tank your scouts and you win.
And then they
apparently.
just
That's
fucking
like how
two-shot
it goes for the
anyone.
most part. Yeah. Like you've got 185 health scouts running around, like the smallest hitbox in the game, fastest speed in the game, most mobility in the game passively, without having to use any of their own resources for it except the spacebar.
Best hit scan as well. Like,
It's hit scan.
Yeah, and their scatter
And it's
gun
just
is
like-
actually better than normal shotgun as well.
Yeah. Like,
deals more damage in close
obviously,
range.
if you tank your scout's going to be the most powerful class. And most of the notable players in Prem and in Invite are scout players. Banny, Balash, Credu, all these amazing players. They're all scouts. Like, yeah, there's good soldiers too, you know, but they're way much less notable.
Yeah.
Sure, they get an air shot every once in a while.
they're only
but...
known for like, oh, he made an amazing med play while the scout is just constantly fragging and fragging and fragging.
Yeah, like the scouts are always going to be on top. They're the major carries of each team. If you could have amazing soldiers and demos, but if your scouts are shit, you're probably gonna lose.
Exactly.
And that's
That's
the point where Comp 6 is at right now.
Yeah, and we don't want
Yeah.
Highlander as a whole either. It's just like having more than one of the same class is also a huge part of the game. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be able to overheal a medic or upgrade buildings of another engineer. Or set people on fire and then crit with another pyro. It's a part of the game to have multiple classes, and it shouldn't be stuck to just one of each class, nor it should be stuck to the
Yeah.
same meta for so long. Like, let's just have a meta where certain weapons are more viable and certain classes are more viable, and then next time the other stuff are viable. This way, not only we don't have to have like, oh, this weapon is so underpowered, nobody's ever going to use them. We just have those switching up as well. So now you need to practice and know different weapons and be ready to use different style of things the next meta. It's so much more healthier for the competitive community as well, because during a certain meta, a team is far better than the other one, but during another meta, the game completely changes. There was a meta in Dota where it was all about protecting that one person that was doing well and getting all the items. In that meta, the team that obviously had one good player and 4 good support players won the game. And then the meta changed, and now it's all about mobility and ending the game quickly. And then now the team that's so good at suppressing people are winning. That's so much better.
It's
Yeah.
very similar to that in Overwatch as well. I've not been following the Overwatch League much anymore this season because the meta currently is extraordinarily boring to watch, and they tried to fix it and it still doesn't change, and it's extremely boring to watch because nothing ever happens, but that's beside the point. But it was very similar to that in the season 1 of Overwatch. It was just like, yeah, like in one meta this team was good, and then the meta changes and suddenly that team's fucking terrible and the other teams get to rise. And
Yeah, we don't just
it
want...
makes it a lot more interesting when it comes to the overall thing. But like, I will get scorched from the competitive community for saying this, but I honestly don't think Sigafu is wrong.
yeah,
Like,
that's the
it's
thing.
not.
Like I agree.
He never was.
I don't think he's wrong.
People are so deeply rooted and toxic about their race that we can't even suggest anything or they get angry.
Like, I get the argument that they make, like, you know, oh, just changing all the rules, unbanning all the weapons isn't gonna make Valve listen. They're absolutely right about that. If
Yeah,
Valve
like I
hadn't
see all
listened yet,
these
why would
comments
they?
all like,
But that shouldn't be your main focus. Like, at this point, your focus shouldn't be trying to get Valve to listen. And that's the part that I disagree with. Like, oh, we're gonna have a season of unrestricted 6s on Sigafu's League, and we're gonna collect the data and send it to Valve. If Valve don't listen already, they're not gonna listen to that data. They're not gonna give a shit about it. That doesn't matter. That reasoning is stupid. But if you just want to play it for fun, like, there's gonna be people that want to play that have fun with it.
I'm
There's
gonna join a
be people that
team
wanna
and play Demo Night on that.
Yeah, remember
Like,
when
finally, I
people
can
that
play
want the
Room a
hardline.
demo without sacrificing
Yeah,
stickies on
remember
my
when
team.
they
Like, that's
Exactly.
gonna be amazing.
Remember when they completely banned Vaccinator because it changed the 6's meta, or when they banned Scorch Shot because it made Demo a little bit more or less obsolete. They're just so
Yeah,
stuck
it's-
to their ways, and it's bad for the community.
Like,
it's bad for the
there
game.
can
It's
be
bad
people-
for
Like, I still can't wrap my head around why they banned the Scorch Shot. Like, that's so dumb.
yeah,
It can destroy
it
stickies.
destroys stickies, and that
gotta
makes
be gone.
traps bad. Oh boy, that
Whoa,
changes
it's
the meta.
almost as if, you know,
no.
like, Demo is class limited to 1 because of sticky traps. Now that there's
Yeah.
something that counters sticky traps, oh, let's just ban it. Like,
Yeah, it's just they're just so toxic in their ways, and they're gonna get upset about it, and they're gonna flame you over it, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, you've already played an iron, shut up," or something like that. I don't know. It's just sad.
Like-
If you never
like,
change as a
I-
community, you're
I
just gonna
think-
die.
Yeah, I think the people that want to play the hardline classic meta, they can still play that. But then there's definitely an audience, and I do believe that there's a bigger audience as well in the casual community for the unrestricted.
There
community.
is,
Yeah,
and
competitive.
SolarLight's League proves it completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Night Comp League is perfect proof of that. There's absolutely a giant audience of people that want to play competitively, like they actually want to compete and like want to play the game for the objective. Don't just want to sit around on casual all day throwing sandwiches
Yeah,
at each
can
other.
we
being
just
And
friendly.
plus,
show-
like, most
they
of these players are just demo nights. Like, imagine that, like, with every class.
Yeah, and they
You know, like-
actually strategize and they come up with different ways to play the game and play the meta. Can we just pull up what the Japanese community made for Nightcom? Just
I'll
pull
see
that
if
up
I
on
can
the screen.
find it again. Like,
Yeah, I have it. I have it. I can just
Oh,
grab
yeah?
that. Give me a second. I'll just screenshot that and put it down so I can put it into the thing later. Alright, there you go.
Oh yeah, the strategies for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the rollout. Like,
They have
even though it
strategies,
doesn't look.
rollouts, and everything. It's insane.
Yeah, like they're legit like working out their own ways to play the game, and I think that's like really interesting.
Yeah, and that's amazing to see. And
Like,
that's
obviously
what
it's
you wanna
not
see in a
perfect,
game.
but
Yeah, that's what you want to
Yeah.
see in a game, though. People developing different ways to play a game, so it never ends and it always feels fresh. Every single time you come back, there's something new that you can do instead of just
yeah,
oh,
like
we are gonna have 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, 1 demo, and a medic, and also every single weapon is the same on both sides. Yay!
All unlocks are banned. Nobody's allowed to use anything except for the gunboats, which is the only weapon that's unbanned. And
Yeah.
the ideal whitelist that all people always talk about is like, oh, the only weapons that should be unbanned are the Boston Basher.
I've
the
seen
gunboats,
those, and every time I just
and
disagree
that's
so
it.
hard. It's horrible.
It's like, yeah, like everything should be banned except for like free weapons. That
Yeah,
like
let's just bring the
remotely
game
change
back
the
to
gameplay.
2008.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really bad, and people get upset about pyro, especially in pubs, because it punishes a certain play style that's idiotic. If you overextend and be dumb, you are gonna die to a pyro. A lot of people that complain that pyro is overpowered is people that don't understand that they can't just fucking go somewhere and get a lot of kills. They're gonna get punished for
Yeah.
it. And then there's
end
the
of the
people
day-
that get upset. Oh, he reflect my rocket. That doesn't take any fucking skill. Don't shoot a fucking rocket.
Yeah. The sad thing is, at the end of the day, it's all game theory arguing about a 11-year-old game that gets updated about once a year at this point, with about maybe 5 people coding, 3 of which are potted plants. And it's just, yeah, like, you can argue days and nights about whether it's worth changing the meta in a game like TF2 when the community is already so small and when, you know, it's dwindling and it's not getting updated and stuff, whether or not, but like, at the end of the day, just, you know, let people play the game. If they want to play the game that way, like, that's the thing I always see as well. Like, why would you even want to convert the casual community to play competitive? Like, they all just sit on Dust Bowl all day throwing sandwiches around it. I can assure you that that is not the case. Like, yeah, half of the player base plays casual, the other half sits on orange servers, but like, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be willing to play competitive if there was an actual
People are
incentive.
just looking down on casual community a lot and being insultive about it. Like, how many people I've seen that came to me when I was hosting Tomolander and told me that X person has said really bad things about them because they play casual and they are scared of trying competitive. I had to sit down with like at least 10 people. I still have the chat logs. If I just go down, I can actually find them and convince them that everyone was new here and that they would have a fun and pleasant experience. And a lot of people changed their opinions afterwards. And then they didn't have fun anymore because they just went into the lowest possible open league and got trashed because every single person there has so much more experience. Nobody wants to play competitive because even the lowest of low has so much experience in the game.
That's why I like that ETF12 are doing the Fresh Meat Cup up again. Like, they're doing another season of that, right? They're doing another Fresh Meat Cup.
Yeah, that was amazing.
The first one was an astounding success, and I hope that the second one goes just as well.
Yeah, it is. There's one issue that I've seen so far with, like, buddies. Some buddies are extremely toxic from what I observed while playing the first Fresh Meat Cup. It's the bundle of new people that I found. They're rude to their teammates, and they're also rude to other players for playing in a different way. I had a lot of people flaming the shit out of me because I ran Vaccinator in my team, and we lost by 1 round. But we did well with Vaccinator, and everyone was having fun. But the enemy team is constantly shit-talking, bind spamming, and getting upset about Vaccinator, mostly their buddy. That needs to be removed as well. They need to strictly moderate people being dickheads and just get rid of them.
Yeah.
I wonder how those same people react to the meta and no restrict at the moment, because like it's just like at the moment, like, the strat I've seen for no restrict is, like, 2 medics, 1 with Vaccinator.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good meta.
Yeah.
You know what else is a good meta? When you put a
well.
level 3 sentry on their last.
Yeah.
Ah, the memories. Do you remember that,
Yeah,
Surny?
I remember.
It was wonderful.
I was, like, dying. It was glorious.
Fucking 4K with a level 3 sentry sneaking and then we just win.
Engineer main.
Okay, we had a
how it
sniper,
goes.
we had a heavy, we had
We had
a
a
spy,
spy.
we had an engineer, we had a medic, and we had a soldier.
I just run in and dump my level 2 in there.
And we won. Oh, that was so sad.
Those are the fun moments that you live for.
They immediately
comp.
fucking left the server after the game ended.
That was wonderful.
Mm.
I think we can wrap it up here though, with a wonderful angry rant about the dying game of TF2 that we all still cling to so hopefully.
Yeah, I want every
God knows what
single
reason.
competitive person that disagrees to fight me in real life. Come at me.
Fair enough.
I'll stab you with a fork.
At the end of the day though, overall the comp community is pretty nice, and I mean, if you really think about it, right, they are the core community of TF2. If there's any community effort, it always connects back to the comp community in some way. Most charity events, in
Tip
some
of the
way,
hats, especially.
Tip of the hats especially, which is the most notable one, but also hugs, for instance. And then, you know, most of the mapping, a lot of stuff connects back to the comp community, and the core community of the comp community, like, they are the driving force behind the TF2 community. They are what makes the community so great.
We should
Obviously,
snap
there's going
off
to be
of
bad
them.
apples everywhere, but, you know, you can't change that. There's going to be bad apples and everything.
We should just
But
try
yeah.
to snap them.
Maybe. It's an option. You never know. Let them play their own little cheeky game.
I don't
or
feel
whatever.
so good, Mr. Banny.
People like to make fun of him, but he's right sometimes. And when he's right, he's right. He's really
The
right.
thing you just said didn't make any fucking sense if you think back. to
I
it.
know. That's a good way to end it. We're done here. It's over. Goodbye.